Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Sue the Soggy Stamper, and it is a Sunday afternoon. Many of us are going to be watching the Super Bowl game, and I won't be because we don't have access to it. But I am wearing my Seahawks T-shirt, and I've got on a four-leaf clover necklace for good luck for them, and I'm all set that way. At any rate, I wish them the very best because they are my favorite team, and they're doing a great job this year. Today, I want to show you how to make this beautiful, stunning card. It is gorgeous just with this paper, but when you open it, the greeting pops out, and it is a pop-up card. Looks like this. At any rate, and this is a suite that will be available in March with the online exclusives, and it's just to die for. You will be so excited when you are able to buy it. And I am giving you the sneak peek so far in advance, but get ready, you'll want it. First off, the suite includes some gorgeous designer series paper that I have samples of. Right here. Set the card aside for now. Get it out of the way. So if you'll notice, it has a bronze foil on it, and I love the colors. There is a new color, kind of a hint of what's to come with the new in colors, because it is hydrangea blush, something like that. Let's see. Get out the specifics here. I like to write. This is what I like to do with my papers, because that way I can just look at the card and see the patterns, all the patterns at one time without having to flip through. The other thing I like to do is see the print is very, very small on the colors, so I like to make it larger. So the colors in this are Crumb Cake, Gray Granite, Hydrangea Hue. That's going to be a new in color, I am pretty sure, because it's not in our color families now. Mossy Meadow and Secret Sea, along with Bronze, which is the foil. And the patterns are quite stunning. This one is my favorite. I just love this flower. We'll come back to that paper in a minute. There's the deep sea with the tiny flowers that are embossed with the bronze. Oh, I forgot to show you. Backside is a checkerboard. Backside of this one is hydrangeas. I do believe it's what it's supposed to be, with that hydrangea hue color. Some ferny, feathery color. Can you see the embossing there? The foil. On the back side of that is another Crumb Cake pattern. Then you get the flowers in a larger image. And the back side is a brushed Mossy Meadow. And then you get even larger flowers, like that. The centers of these flowers, and there's little flecks, and the feathers are with the bronze foil. The back of that is a very nice neutral tweed or linen type print. And then you get this one that has the embossing, the foil. and a gray watercolor wash. So that's the designer series paper, specialty paper, I should say. The suite also has this foil paper. And this one with the flowers. These are single-sided, a little bit heavier cardstock weight. So there's that one. This one, isn't that gorgeous? And this one, checker, kind of a plaid. All you have to do is to have a card base, cut that out onto a layer, put your greeting on there, and maybe a ribbon, and you're good to go. I love how our designer series paper is so easy to make a beautiful card. Now, included in that are some embellishments. This gray ribbon. Cannot put my fingers on the embellishments right off the bat, so I'll have to share them with you another time. Sure wish they would have a pull tab on these so that you could get the cellophane to cut the cellophane without cutting a ribbon. There. So it's 1/4 inch wide, and it's kind of a linen weave in gray that coordinates with the colors of the suite. Then are the dies, like this. And I like how they now have the pictures so you can see what they're supposed to cut out. And these are the stamps. So we have dies that will cut out. This image. And this image. And this one. And this one. Oh, and also the little flower. Then there's a greeting that says, "Thank you kindly. Hope you feel your best soon, and hello, friend, and wishing you happiness and love." And the greetings are in mixed fonts, which is always nice to have. Put these back in here so we don't lose them. In addition, there are some dies for extra greenery, the fronds, the fern fronds, and the some other pieces of greenery. So very useful that way. I want to show you in one of the pieces. This designer series paper, that this flower will cut out, this die will cut out this motif like that. And then the little flower, like so. And there's two of those dies. So anyway, I love it the way it coordinates with. We'll be cutting out one of these in a minute. So let's get started with the card itself. The card base is actually, we don't need this one. The card base is 5.5 by 4 1/4, just the card front. And then inside that we have, and I've chosen to use this paper. So the inside adheres to, can you see? It adheres to the card front. And this paper is 8.5 by 4 1/4, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. So let's do that. Set that aside. So 8.5 by 4 1/4 is the standard like that. I'll burnish it well. And it's going to fit on exactly like so onto our card. See, like that. But we're not going to put it on quite yet. Next piece is the flap. That is 6 inches by 3 inches. It is 6 inches by 3 inches. 1, 2, 3. And this one is scored at 1/2 inch and 1 5/8. So we'll score it. Get this up here where you can see. At 1/2 inch. And at 1 5/8. Okay, 1 5/8. Yep, that's right. Okay, next piece is a back piece on the very back. That's this piece. This is what we just scored. This one here. So there's a 1/2 inch up here, and then 1 5/8 is here. Okay, so the next piece is this part here at the back to keep the flap in place. And it is 5 1/4 by 3 inches. And I'll put these measurements up on my blog so you don't have to worry about them right now. And score this at 1/2 inch on each end. Then inside we have this pop-up piece here. And this was a little tricky because when you open the card, to have this stand upright, this bottom area is shorter than this up here. And this piece is 5.5 by 3.5. And I score it at 1/2 inch. One and 1/4 inches. One and 1/4 inch, and at 5 inches. And that is all the scoring. The final two pieces that we need are for the front, and this is 5.25 by 4 inches. And it just goes on the front like that, and we'll do that right away. So now on the inside we have the inside piece that's been scored, but let's work with the flap next. It's going to have the 1/2 inch score right there, and it is a mountain fold, and then a valley fold on the next score line, which was at 1 5/8. And that gives us this piece here. We'll go ahead and we'll put it on to the front, make sure our picture's right side up. I'm going to use multi-purpose liquid glue so it holds better. It up right at the top and get it as straight as possible. And that's not straight. That's one reason it's good to use the multi-purpose liquid glue, because you can shift it. There. Okay. Now the next part is to attach is to create our centerpiece. And where's the middle? Oh, here it is. Going to fix this, score this well, burnish the folds well. So I got the basic directions from Sam Calcott, but I changed them slightly to meet my vision. She did hers with several pop-up layers right in the center of this, which is very cool, but I had a different idea in mind. So put that up against the fold, try to get it even. this is going to fold down like so. I'm going to put adhesive right here. And fold it up. Again, trying to make sure everything's straight. Got to give it a chance to dry. Now this is not going to pop up. I think I did this wrong. Yeah, I did that wrong. So it does that. So I'm going to pull it apart a minute because I got to get rid of all this sticky right there. When you have sticky when you don't want it, especially if it's not going to show, Powder Buddy helps to take the stickiness away. Make sure it's not sticky back here. So first thing I did was I tried to do it this way, but it's supposed to be this way. Not up to here, but onto the folded this way. Put your adhesive there again. And then close this down like that. And then you have your platform. And you have lots of extra powder. Okay, so when you go to put this together, you're going to glue it okay, let's take a look at my card again. Here's the card front. Here's the top of my insert, and you glue it up here. And you'll notice that it doesn't do down there. I'm not going to be adhering it down there. So we're just going to adhere it to the top of the card. And that top glue is not coming. Yeah, I'm being really brave using a lot of adhesive here, but I want to make sure that it stays. So that lines up exactly with the card front, hopefully. Like that. A little bit off here. We can trim it slightly. but I'm not going to worry about it for now. Okay, so there's that part. This just comes down here. Then we take this piece. Let's fold the two ends in. And it adheres to the bottom half of that. I'm going to flip that there for now. Like so. And then you slide this in. So that's what the back of the card looks like. There's my sample, and there's the one we're making. If you turn it over, when you open it up, your greeting comes out the bottom. Now we have to do some decorating of this. I have two pieces of this designer specialty paper. And these are 3 inches by 3 1/4, and the 3 1/4 goes up. The bottom one is just a layer, so I'll put it on right away. And I'm going to pull this piece out for now, so I can lay this flat. That on, and then we've got, for the top, we have this piece. We're going to decorate it first. So I have already stamped and colored and cut out this design, and I'm going to put it onto our thing, making sure that the 3 1/4 is upright. This is a fairly thick card anyway, so I'm not using Stampin' Dimensionals. Put that on. Now we need to get the flower. And it's going to be die cut. I did stamp and color that flower yesterday for a different card. But here's that whole paper. It's a shame to have to cut a piece out of it, but that's the way it goes. So it's hard to decide where is the least intrusive. You're probably going to want to get more than one package of this designer series paper. Now this is not too hard, so you could fussy cut it. But I'm going to die cut it. With my trusty little die cutting machine. Quiet. Out. Be quiet. No. Out. Our alarm system just woke up. And I just recently, I have been using painter's tape, the blue painter's tape, to hold my dies down. But I haven't, sometimes when you pull it off, it tears the surface of the paper. So I broke down and I ordered some of the Post-it note tape. What a difference it has made for me. Let me get this out of the way for now. Give us more room to work. So I'm going to get the die. Get it positioned as best I can. It's really subtle, the positioning sometimes. Oh, come on. Then it doesn't help if your hand shakes after you get it in place. Put that tape down to hold it in place. And there's our flower, beautifully cut out. Put that back. Okay. And this I will pop up for a little bit of depth, just a touch. Use some of my scrap edges from my Stampin' Dimensionals. I like to use it with as much of it as I can possibly use. And just stick that on here at the bottom, like so. Now that's ready to go onto our card. It's a shame to cover up such beautiful paper, isn't it? There we go. Now we have a couple of greetings. I have one piece that fits this greeting here. And this is 2 inches by 1 1/4. And I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow ink. I like the saying, hope you feel your best soon. Because some people may not feel, if you have somebody who has cancer, well, that didn't look too good. Their best may not be total healing, but less pain. Dang. That makes me mad. I don't think I can stamp it. Line it up. Nope. We will go with the crooked. And on the other, this was at originally, I think, 1 inch by 2 inches, but it tends to catch right there on the corner. So I decided to make it a longer one that will go back under, and we'll stamp the greeting, "Hello, friend." And we'll put it down here near the bottom of this piece. And it's off center too. You know what? I guess I did that on purpose so that you would not feel bad if yours turns out that way. Okay. So this piece goes on there. In the center of this one. And this will go down here on the bottom of this. It's uneven a little bit. I think I'm going to trim it off to make that better. There. Now it looks like I was meant it to be that way. I'll put that down here. Okay, now slide this. Close the card and slide this under here like so. And when you open the card, "Hello, friend." Hope you're feeling your best soon. And then that shows like that. So all we've got left to do now is decorate the front. And I have pre-cut some of the greenery. And one of the things, one of the dies have these really fine, delicate ones, but you must, unless you're very good at putting very tiny dots, be sure to use the adhesive sheet on the back to avoid getting glue all over everywhere. So I'm going to put them kind of like this, and then I'm going to put a couple of the feathery, grassy images on top. Kind of like that. Could take just a label with the greeting on there, but with the inside having greetings already, I didn't know what else I'd want to say on the front, unless maybe a "for you" or "thinking of you." That would be a good thing to put on the front of it with a label. It's such a busy pattern that you have to have something that's strong enough that it will show. Only thing about the adhesive sheet is getting it started on the peeling it off. And these are big enough that I did not put adhesive sheet on them. Oh, I was going to use Stampin' Dimensionals anyway. Got the mini Stampin' Dimensionals. support them. But I think I'm going to put one on flat before I put the other one on, because they kind of compete with each other otherwise. Stick that one like so. These paper backings end up everywhere, don't they? I picked 2 or 3 up off the living room floor because they stick to my feet. Okay, the last thing is a bow at the bottom here. And I'm going to use a glue dot for that. This is Retire Baker's Twine from, I think, 2004 fall. Mini. They're so generous with their supplies and stuff that it can last a long time. And there we have it. Pops up like that. And on the back here you could put a piece of white so that you can sign it, or you could sign it just this way. Anywho, there's the card. It pops up and it will stand up by itself. And a side view looks like so. So I hope you have enjoyed this. Like I say, I'll put the dimensions up on my blog, The Soggy Stamper. This video will be up on my YouTube channel. I'll put it up this afternoon. Have fun. It's just about time on the West Coast to start watching the Seahawks, the Super Bowl. So I hope you guys have fun watching the game, and I hope your favorite team wins. And we'll see you next Friday for another Fabulous Friday Facebook Live. Bye-bye. Have a good week.